So here we have the Adidas Bad Bunny Adizero SL72 Active Shock Yellow. This is a collaboration between Adidas and Bad Bunny, and it was released this year in 2024. And like I said earlier, it's a mashup of two different sneakers. So it has the SL72 upper, and below that it's using the Adidas Adios OG as the main sort of midsole outsole tech, and then also the bottom half of the sneaker, which is a weird mashup and almost sort of reminds me of the off-white sneakers. So with the details, it comes in a blue, core white and shock yellow. So the blue and core white comes from the SL72, and I've seen colorways for that in SL72. And the bottom half is made up of the Adios Adizero OG, and you can sort of see the shock yellow color on there, and there's some orange on there as well. And what this has is the Adiprene heel on the midsole. So this part here is made up of Adiprene, which is more of a, I suppose, polyurethane EVA midsole. It's quite sort of firm to the touch. And then the front half is the Adiprene Plus, which probably has a little bit more give to it. And again, both of them are meant for sort of running, and mainly for sort of shock absorption. And this also has what they're calling the Adiwear outsole. So this is, I suppose, similar to Endurance from New Balance in terms of the outsole technology, and it's supposed to wear a lot slower than normal rubber, so the compound is slightly different. And this also has a TPU torsion system, so this is a classic Adidas plate that they put inside here to stop your foot from twisting, especially when you're running. And the materials, it says leather, but the leather is around the eyelets and the front of the sneaker, which is a suede material, and on the back here, and then around the sort of heel area, whilst the rest of the sneaker is made up of sort of nylon and textile materials, and the textile materials is mainly on sort of the bottom half of the, I suppose, the Adios type sneaker. And the price for these for £140. So with the comfort and sizing, I feel like these are on the medium side. In hand, when you sort of feel the midsole, it feels quite sort of rigid and sturdy. Not to say like a rubber cupsole, but still more on the firmer side. But when you have your foot inside, it feels a bit softer. So I think, I feel they're more sort of on the medium side, similar to, I suppose, an A6 GT 2160, and even going towards like a New Balance 1906R or 2002R. And being a runner, it does have sort of neutral support around the arch. It's not too much there in terms of, because it's using the upper of the SL72, so I expect it to be quite sort of flat foot. And no wearing time with this, just pretty much good to go out the box. They feel very loose and very kind of easy to wear, similar to an SL72, and it lends itself well to that kind of a silhouette. And I think for these, you kind of want to look at the sizing, but if you're in the US, then true to size would work, because the Adidas sizes are a bit off. But if you're anywhere else, you kind of want to go up half size, in my opinion. But it doesn't hurt going up half size on these anyway, regardless. And as a side note as well, in terms of the comfort, the insole is kind of more on the sort of thinner side, and it's meant to be that way. Obviously, this being a kind of zero runner, where it's supposed to be more focused on lightweight. Not to say that it's horrible on foot, but it's just very kind of basic insole really. But it's more sort of on the rigid side. And these have really good traction as well. So it kind of reminds me of the 2002R in certain ways, especially the front half. It seems to have quite a lot of grip on it. The back half not so much, but I'd expect the wear to be pretty good on these. And again, like I said, they were made as a runner for back in the day. So with the look and style, I mean, this has got like a vibrant colour tone, so some people may like it and may not. I'm a fan of kind of like, I suppose, funky Air Max colours, so for me, I don't mind it being, I think the blue and the yellow really works. And it's a good sneaker for sort of spring, summertime, so, it's, like I said, it's very lightweight on foot, very sort of breathable, and the nylon is not, too cumbersome either. It's just quite sort of lightweight again. And it's a good sneaker for sort of casual wear really. As you can sort of see, it's very sort of sporty, very loud, and I think perfect for summertime. And also like, the kind of back, they've got a double Adidas logo on here on the heel, which some people, may not like, but I think it's quite cool actually, and quite sort of funky. And I also like the fact that they've got the misaligned stripes as well. So it's just, just a really cool sort of unique take really. And I would say it's best with like the white laces that come with it, but in the box you do also have a blue version as well, so that's in this standard sort of Adidas Bad Bunny box. and this is the blue pair that you get with it as well. So you could, you know, throw in either pair really, but I tend to prefer the white versions in there because it kind of matches with the stripes. So for me, like, the white is the way to go. But you know, you could obviously put in yellow as well, or even this sort of orange colour to match up. So with the final thoughts, I mean, it's a mashup of two sneakers. You're either going to love this or not, and I think it's really cool. And I wasn't so sure about this particular colorway, and I thought I would look at kind of the couple that I did hit up on, because I did kind of set on certain sites and certain sizes. However, like, getting them in hand, I think these actually look really nice and kind of work, and I thought they probably wouldn't, but especially for, you know, like summertime where you kind of want to wear something a bit bright and a bit loud. And I also think they're, you know, again, like I said earlier, they're kind of very lightweight, you know, more so than any other sneaker. It's almost like you're wearing nothing, and the midsole is very thin, and it's kind of, I suppose, a trend at the moment. Obviously the SL72 being one of those sneakers that's in at the moment, being the slimmer profile, and I think this is sort of perfect for that kind of trend as well. But for me, you know, I don't look at trends too much, but I like the fact that it's very, very lightweight, and especially for, you know, for summertime use. I think the cons are price at £140. Usually with the Bad Bunny stuff, it's coming at a good price, but for this one, I think they kind of failed on the price a bit, because if you look at the SL72, it retails for about £90 to £100, or I suppose $110. And then you got the Adios Adizero, which I think retails for around the $120 maybe, or in between sort of $100, $120. So I think price-wise, it could have probably done with like being a $20 less, I guess. And in my opinion, I think they kind of missed the mark with the pricing a little bit. I think maybe that's why a lot of people probably didn't, you know, pick these up, or they just didn't like the fact that, you know, they kind of a mashup of two different sneakers. But overall, I'm going to give the look and style a 5 out of 5. Reason being, I just think it's quite funky and quite daring to do something different, and a lot of the sneakers that we see at the moment are very sort of standard with sort of minimal changes on there. And I actually like the fact that they kind of went out of their way to do something different. And it reminds me of something like, I suppose, an off-white sneaker. And the comfort, I'm going to give it a 4. It's not like a 5 out of 5 comfort. It's not like a to sort of 1906R level, or a 990 V4, or, you know, some of the other comfort sneakers that I feel like are much better to wear from an everyday basis. But in terms of just being very lightweight on foot, you know, it kind of ticks that box really. So especially for summertime. Quality, I'm going to give it a 4. It's using very, I suppose, cheap materials, and obviously it's lightweight materials, so that's to be expected. But, you know, bearing in mind, you know, it is what it is, and that's kind of what you're buying into. And the price is going to give that a 4 as well. I just think it's priced slightly too high for the sneaker itself, because the other Bad Bunny collabs, such as the Forums and the Gazelles, they were priced, I think, appropriately, whilst this one, I think they just were a little bit too greedy on it. But overall, I'm still going to give the rating a 5 out of 5. The reason being, I just really like the way it looks, and the mishmash of the sneaker is one of the ones that, you know, to come out this year is to do something different. I think is very cool. So for me, I think it's one of those sneakers that shouldn't work, but it does work.